Hey guys, welcome to my January pickups video. Today we've got video games, toys, clothes, merchandise and everything in between, so stick around. Hey guys, cheers for tuning in. So today is going to be my January pickups, although I'll be frank, it's probably some late stragglers in there from post Christmas time or bits that didn't make the December video that I did. I've got a shed load of things. I thought I was going to be good and sensible and not spend very much money in January, and that's backfired. But that said, I've got a semi-excuse, and the few bits in here are gifts as well. So it's not all things I've showed out for. But yeah, I've spent a bit more than budgeted for January, so I'm going to have to try and recoup that somehow in February. There's pretty too much to kind of rearrange and make it look even semi or quarter professional on video, so I'm going to have to do a cut at some stage just as I kind of move set number 1 away and then get set number 2 kind of logged up and ready to show. So that will happen at some stage. I will do chapters, so if there's certain things which you're interested in, other bits you're not interested in, I'm not going to put you through the bloody A to Z. Just watch what you want to watch. I've got a bit of a combo of people into their toys, or into their kind of video games, some film buffs. So yeah, there's some people that like it all, other people that don't. So do what you want to watch. And before I get stuck in, I think the only real mention apart from the pickups was just to say a very, very big thank you to Dale from DaleyRetro. So I think a lot of you probably already subscribed to him, but if you don't, as in all the mentions here, I'll put details in the description as is common bloody courtesy, surely. But he firstly has an amazing channel, and he does a whole set of stuff. Main focus around retro games, but there is some more modern takes on there, like his kind of driving rig, which is like megally innovative and blows my mind. I would actually love to give that a go at some point. But he has started off a newish series, and it's talking to tubers about their games rooms. And I had a chat with him Sunday before last. Really, really nice chat. He asked the same questions to each of the tubers, but it's about games room, the evolution of it, things that are working well, things that you want to improve, your most kind of precious, valuable item, stuff like that. So episode number 1 was phenomenal, and I feel, I don't know, following that episode number 1, I'm not entirely sure it was the best kind of sequencing, but the first one was with the Fab Marcus from Dad and Lads Gaming, and if you've seen that video or his games room, it's absolutely incredible. So yeah, go and check out episode number 1, and then hopefully episode number 2, certainly on the Dale side. Awesome. And I kind of go through my bits, a bit of banter, a bit of chat, but yeah, really, really nice guys. Channel's going from strength to strength, and I think with this series it's just going to kind of further push him up the sub interest count. So yeah, hopefully he can do over the YouTube algorithm and get to where he properly deserves to sit in terms of subs. But yeah, lovely guy. So check that out. And if we now look at the pickups, the first few bits are kind of either gifts or things where people have been out and about and they've thought the little old retro Ed may like something, so they've got in touch. You fancy this? And yes please. So in no particular order, these individuals are just equally awesome. So the first one is from a guy. She lives out in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I've been a long time supporter of the channel, stroke mate, as most of you guys are. Kind of sub and we have a bit of banter. Absolutely top bloke. He's got his own channel, Faraway Gamer, and again links will be below. But he does a lot of retro stuff, a lot of kind of top 5s, top 10s. Very well produced and edited, and he's even got a little, what's the word, kind of avatar of himself. There's a bit of banter, a bit of jokes, and really, really cool. But yeah, so he sent me some games, and he also had a chat with his mate Boris, who is far more kind of creative than than I am, and he kind of made me a little something. But I'll show you the games first. So all PS2 games. So we've got like Spy Hunter. It's kind of, whenever I see Spy Hunter, I just think of the, the Specky, the kind of microcomputer C64 day Spy Hunter. I loved it on the Specky. Obviously a bit more of an enhanced modern version, but a good game nonetheless. RC Toy Machines, and these are all complete, I should say. And a bit of the Tiger Woods. So yeah, so some cool games. And then the little creative pieces, yeah, Retro Ed keyring, obviously kind of modelled or designed based on my logo. But to be frank, it's kind of, this is even cooler than my logo. So if I can somehow scan or digitize this, I might enhance my logo a little bit. But that's really, yeah, so kind of you guys. Massive thank you. And yeah, Faraway Gamer is kind of the day job. Most of us all got the day job, so not in the millions of subscribers, but he works in this like electrical store. I've seen pictures of it. It's, if you're in the UK and you imagine a kind of a Tesco superstore, this is like about 20 times the size of it. It's just a small bloody town, and he kind of looks after the electronics, like the technical stuff, all the the TVs and appliances, and the video gaming bit. And yeah, it's quite customary, but whenever I release a video and say he's at work, and he works bloody hard, it seems like he's always at work, he will put it on one of his many, he's got a wall of tellies in the shop, and he'll cheekily go on and put the video on and send me a picture, which I probably put on Instagram or something like that. So I just pray his boss never cottons onto it. I'm certainly he's probably not a subscriber, but that's, yeah, just a bit of fun that we have. But yeah, no, massive thank you, really appreciate it. And yeah, be sending you a little something in return for sure. But yeah, thanks to you, and obviously thanks to the main man Boris also. On to the next equally cool tuber. In fact, I mentioned him at the beginning of the video. So this is DaleyRetro. He was at his local video gaming shop, and he said, look, he knows about the craziness that is the 3DS full set malarkey, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. He's like, have you got this game? And we're going to show me a few games, and I was like, well, I kind of got the sequel, but I need the first one of this. And for months, forever, I've had it on my watch list on eBay, just cannot find it. I could see it in other regions, and part of me was just thinking, has it even had a UK release? You think it'd be kind of odd but not completely unknown, but to release a sequel in a region, but not the first one for something like the 3DS. But anyway, he messaged me a little bit later on, and he goes, oh, I think I found the bloody thing, and he had. So yeah, it's kind of One Piece Unlimited Cruise SP. So I've got SP2, but not this one. And with the old Emmanuel, which is cool, because as you guys know, it's just impossible for most consoles to get a blooming manual on its own. It's just, yeah, it's like a lottery, isn't it? Particularly something like that, you never couldn't even find the bloody game, let alone be able to find a manual. So so yeah, that's super cool, and that was one of the final nails, not in the coffin, one of the final nails in the collection. So thank you, Dale, for that. Next one, it's a tuber that goes by many names. I call him GSG, but to a lot of you, you'll know him as the fantastic Geordie Slasher Gaming. And he's been a true, I'm going to get effing gushy, but he's a true pal. Always like loads of you, just a real kind of mate, support of the, more than just being a support of the channel, always just kind of looking out and banter and exchange stuff. It's always sending me bits and bobs, and I deserve to send him a bit more back in his direction. But he sent me some bits that are downstairs, and that's because my son Finn blooming loves them. They're kind of some Sonic and Sonic related figurines, and if I remember, there'll be a photo there, otherwise it would just be a finger of me pointing at some Dreamcast games. But yeah, they're really cool. We've got them around the monitor downstairs, so near by the Xbox. So my son's arranged them wrongly or rightly next to some Disney stuff. So they're kind of straddling, sounds wrong, doesn't it? But straddling Mickey and Goofy and the gang. Could be something going on at night that we don't necessarily know about, which is a bit wrong. But there's that, and then back into the realms of normality, kind of. He knows I like my Lego, and this is kind of what started off. He goes, "I got some Lego. Do you fancy it? Shall I send it on?" And he's too much of a bloody gent to take any money, whatever. He's he's a doll. I haven't opened it. I've got a few just out of camera shot. A few, not this one, but a few similar ones in the set. So I'm kind of lining them up in a bit of a display styly to keep me whilst I'm working. It kind of all keeps me a bit sane just to have a look at the games and the toys and all that stuff. So I might open it at some point when I feel that urge to build. But for the time being, yeah, once soon as we're done here, we'll be nicely stacked up with its Lego friends on the shelf. And he also sent me, I kind of looked at this and I was like, is this a bum bag? Are we kind of 80s style-y? And I must admit I did enjoy sporting a bit of a bum bag in the early teens, and some of the photos, if they ever work their way onto the interweb, oh yeah man, I'll be trolled well and truly. But it's not a bum bag. It is, I like to call it, it's probably a unisex thing, but I'll be calling it a man bag for this particular video and episode. Yeah, bit of Mario. I'm assuming it's probably designed to be like 3DS with games, but to be frank, you could get, a Switch, you get any handheld in there, you get your bloody packed lunch in there if you wanted to, but I won't be doing that. But yeah, it's really, really, really cool. And it almost makes me semi-eager to get back out when I'm working, get out of this house and go up to Londinium, and yeah, I can be very LMO'd with this. So thank you so much, GSG. And that concludes the gift section of the video. So on to like pickups. First set of things, bit of a random array to be honest. I was going to say it's all kind of, it's all toys and then games, but it's a bit of a mix-up. So the first item, bit of a random one. Maybe I'm just clutching at straws to show things, but I got the, if you've seen it, the analog pocket, the kind of handheld. Struggle to get a case. The wait times on any accessory and the pocket itself are just, unless you were like super on it, and they're now going into next year, so 2023, and I needed something to kind of protect it. And I think it was Mad Little Pixel, one of the proper tubers, one of the genuine tubers, did something. I think it was him. And so yeah, it's a kind of Peli, was it a 1040 splash proof, whatever, bomb proof, radioactive proof thing, and it just fits really, really well in it. Probably really well opens it up and it kind of all collapses, but it's got yeah, kind of, as you can see, kind of protection around the edges. But yeah, it's just cool. Not that I'm not like super, I think I'm not super clumsy. It says throwing it on the floor. But I wanted something to protect it. It's not, it's a couple £100 or whatever. You don't want to be scratching it or knocking it. So when it's not in play, it's kind of in there and then on the shelf. But again, it's quite good if I'm lugging it around or maybe going up to playing some analog pocket on the train or wherever on the bus. Then yeah, all is good. So that was that one. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to watch this online auction. I'm not going to get involved in it. And then towards the end, it was like, yeah, I think it was like on a Saturday, but towards the end, it'd been going on for like a few hours. I just had it on in the background. There was a hell of a lot of items. A lot of people, I think they got their stuff or they just had enough and they left. So things started dropping in value. And it was that point I was like, oh, I think I'm going to have pay a bit of attention on it. And then there was 3 things that came up. One of them I'm not going to show because it's something for another tuber who's really getting into his Star Wars. So I need to ping it onto him, but if he likes it, then I'm sure you'll see it on his video. So leaving the other 2 bits, yeah. So the first one, they're not kind of, one of them is a bit rarer than this one, but the first one is kind of Greedo. Who shot first, Han Solo or Greedo. but it's kind of a, it's a graded one. I've got a couple of graded bits. I don't really necessarily go for it. I just like the fact that it displays particularly well. I mean, I've got stands and stuff, but it's nice, it's protected, it's sealed. He's not going to jar his neck or his elbows. He's not going to need any kind of physio. Where I think he's got his little weapon. But most importantly, he's the right bloody shade of green, and it's just a beautiful friggin' figure. I'm going to sound like, to all the people watching this bit, they're into their video games, maybe not toys. I'm going to sound like a complete pansy, but yeah, as kind of as Greedos go, green Greedos go, it's just it's a lovely lovely one. Obviously, it's an 85. You get a far higher rating than that, but yeah, for the money, yeah, I love this little guy. So he's on the shelf. So that was the entree, the starter. This one, yeah, a bit battered, but it's kind of a rarer figure. You still see them, on eBay, but they command quite a bit of money. It's not punched, so the card at the top where they kind of, you put it on the peg, is still intact. But it was part of the Star Wars kind of last 17 figures. So figures obviously came out, towards the end, and it was kind of over the hill a little bit in terms of the films that come out. There'd been an absolute surge of popularity for the figures, for the vehicles, but it was kind of like most things, hopefully not video game prices. It was the bubble would burst a bit and things were coming down, and retailers were just struggling to get rid of stuff. Stuff was getting destroyed, and then obviously more recently, similar video games with toys, there's an absolute resurgence of stuff. People got maybe a bit more available, money, or they want, like people like me that want to get back into things they had as a kid. And then that kind of demand is surging up. So similar to video games. So I'll just show it now. I can never pronounce right. I think it's a Manaman. There's going to be so much glare, and I'm not going to get out. Apologies, I'm not going to get him out of this because it's a risk I'm unwilling to take. But yeah, as you can see, they really, with a big old sticker, they wanted to try and get rid of him at the handsome price of it's £1.59. It wasn't working, so people at Tesco's, they had to drop it. You could just see to 99p, and yeah, unfortunately I paid a bit more than 99p for this chap, but really cool. Even the weapon alone, if you buy that standalone, you can pay a chunk of money. And these things, they get, if they're played with as well, fairly kind of fragile. So to get one that's intact, to get a nice dude with some seriously long arms, bit of an ugly fella. Yeah, I am chuffed with this, chuffed to bits, and the card back is sweet. Kind of tri logo, as you can see. So yeah, it's I'm chuffed with it. I really am. I must admit, I pulled the trigger, and I thought, am I gonna? Yeah, I'm gonna kind of get it. So it was, excuse me, fairly pricey, but I think if it had been towards the beginning of the auction, or the peak of the auction, I think it would have gone for a lot higher. I think people had emptied their pockets by that stage. That was the auction. This is like an eBay item, and it really, yeah, it's me being a Chase HQ bloody geek. Now I've got most of the games, I'm up to any other Chase HQ merch I can possibly find, and I think I need to lose like a shit ton of, excuse my French, the old crimbo weight in order to fit into this thing. But check this bad boy out. Chase HQ shirt. You got the logo. You got your 3 cheeky turbos down the side. It was kind of, it wasn't too, I'm trying to think how much it was. It was about 30, I think about 35 quid, 35 like 40 quid. So for like a shirt, I don't really spend much money. I'd be honest, buy some of my clothes like Tesco's and stuff, apart from the glorious hoodie, but I don't really spend much money on clothes. I think for a decent shirt, you could spend about that. But it's Chase HQ, so I got it. But it was, and the guy had pretty good feedback. But it was advertised to say that these shirts were given away as as part of the Tokyo game fair. Like I think it's like an annual thing that they have, so it's kind of got 1988 in it. In my opinion, I think it's maybe that they were released then, but I'm not. I think this is new, just on how it looks and how it feels. And so I may be wrong, but I don't feel too aggrieved because I didn't spend like crazy money on it, and it's it's not that easy to get anything. It's got Chase HQ on. If I bought like a T-shirt, you probably find somewhere that's still probably going to be about 20-25 quid. So, like I say, lose a bit of tub, lose a bit of weight, get into this bad boy, and then I'll be taking over the streets of Essex. And if I wear it when I'm playing the game, I might actually complete it on the Master System, which could be a first. So that's that, and then we swing back, we boomerang back to a few games. No particular, I'm not going to go chronological and all that BS. I'm just going to get stuck in. And you've got to bear in mind, you've got to sympathise that with some of these games, they're not all just for me. I mean, if my son he plays a few of them, so there may be some kind of kiddie titles in here. But first one, Kingdom Hearts, so Melody of Memory. And I thought, I mean, I played a couple of like Kingdom Hearts games. I thought it was going to be in that kind of style, but it's not. It's kind of a rhythm. Not there's anything wrong with it. It's more of like a rhythm game where you're speeding along the track. You've got do have Disney characters, in fact, with these games. So like Mickey and Goofy or Donald are kind of either side. You're going along, and you've got to kind of hit certain buttons and certain combinations to kill the enemies as they come towards you. And it's playing basically the songs from the various games of Kingdom Hearts. But it's not too bad. I must admit, at first I played it, I was like, oh no. My son was like, oh, this is pretty good. But then I got quite into it, and pretty much we did like a couple of hours one evening, really enjoying it, and been back a couple of times since. I think it's about something ridiculous. I was you've got like a map, and I was going up all the way through. It felt like I was about, maybe even wrong, but like 60, 70 levels or songs. So it was, lots to get stuck into. But this one was me with a bit of insomnia, just on eBay, like a blooming nighttime eBay stalker. And this came up and it was cheap as chips, Darksiders 2. Brand new, kind of sealed. So I just, no one else was bidding, and I think everyone else was watching, so got a little bit of that. Steve, Retro Red Steve, he loves a bit of the old Wonder Boy, and I got the Wonder Boy. It was Asher in Monster World, so I kind of opened it to try and get the old Nintendo kind of coins in and get that registered, but haven't played that one yet, but looking forward to that. Have played a lot of this one recently. Hunt Down, it's got a bit of, I think Peeps did some footage on it, like a live stream on it last night, and I think he might be doing a part 2 middle of this week, perhaps. Don't quote me, but he's definitely kind of doing a playthrough of this game. It's just it's just brilliant, kind of a bit of a run and gun. Some similarities, perhaps RoboCop, kind of Terminator, just in the style and the jumping and just the blasting and the kind of the weapons. Good tunes. I love the kind of some of it's like English acting of just like Cockney baddies. The bosses are brilliant, and it's an absolutely class game. It's a really, really good game. This one, I had an evening on it, I think maybe a week before last. I don't think Volume 2's come out yet, but Neo Geo Pocket Color, Volume 1, obviously has probably stating the obvious, but a lot of kind of fighting games. So what have you got? Samurai Showdown 2, King of Fighters, I might go through all of them. Fatal Fury, a couple of Metal Slugs. I played Metal Slug First Mission, and obviously it's kind of a light version of true Metal Slug, but still really, really good. And it's dropped in price. It's about 20 quid on Amazon. So grab that. And the games are great, but also it's not that geeky, is it? Or is it geeky? Probably all geeks if you're watching this. But the actual UI, the interface, the way you can kind of change the display, because you see the handheld on the screen, but you can zoom in, pixelate, switch around. So it'd be nice if Nintendo did that for You know, some of the stuff that they've got on their online store. It just gives you more options. It looks a lot crisper. It's a lot easier to work through. So yeah, really good. This one, I think I missed it when I must have missed it when it first came out. I missed to be honest, a couple of generations of consoles. If you watch some of my prior videos, I just was stuck in olden games, and I'm kind of catching up. So this is remastered. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Yeah, it's just brilliant. It's got, arguably, it has got a bit of Chase HQ in it. You kind of, you know, when you kind of ram down the enemies and just batter their cars, but you've got some nice, you know, power ups, you know, level ups. You know, you kind of a whole range of vehicles. The tracks are cool. It's also, you know, nighttime mode, just bashing around kind of tunnels. Sounded really wrong. Yeah, I think I barely scratched the surface in terms of, you know, levels and progress on this one. And there's a guy I was on a live stream with last year, super guy, who he's got a Facebook group on the go for like dads who game. He always puts some really good recommendations on, good like Instagram and stuff. And he was he was involved in this basically, because I was saying, oh, I'm playing this, and he's like, yeah. And fair enough, went to the kind of the credits or the options menu, and there was his name. I was like, bloody hell. So that was even cooler, made it even better. And the final one is the Disney. So Magical World 2. Playing this with my son at the moment. Some of the mini games, I haven't got a poker face, so I can't bullshit you. Some of the mini games are actually pretty good. And yeah, the whole kind of setup, the world of going around. It's a bit, you know, it's a basic RPG. Let's kind of call it that. But yeah, there's a lot of kind of playability in there. I honestly can see my son and me, you know, playing it for a hell of a lot, you know, a long time to actually get anywhere in it. The magical kingdom, or the magical world is, yeah, it's kind of huge. I mean, barely kind of got into it, to be honest. Met a few of the main characters. My son's already spent the money that he earned from doing the quests, and he's bought some real kind of shoddy, you know, costumes and character skins, and all that stuff. So you can dress up, you know, be a character. It can be like Buzz Lightyear, or there's so many. There's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of different outfits and setups. So he likes all that stuff. But it's yeah, a good way of getting him into gaming. To be honest, there's a few games he's into, but he's really got stuck into this. We played the first one, which is quite different, really, on the Xbox. It might be on the Games Pass, unless I don't think we've got it. I think it was on the Games Pass. We'd like downloaded it. So when he saw this bloody adverts around Christmas, it was, oh, can we get involved? So he got some Christmas money, and we got that. And at that stage, I'm gonna have a rearrange. Bear with me. And we'll do part 2. Be right back. Hello. And welcome to part 2. And we started off clearly with a little bit of blue, because I had forgotten that the GSG, Mark, the Geordie Slasher Gamer, had implanted a little cheeky, very cheeky, DVD. Get Lego and some of this. But to be frank, I could do a little bit of it. I'm going to lose some of that tub, lose some of the weight, and get into that Chase HQ shirt. So maybe it was an inspired gift. But yeah, it's complete. You got your tissues, you got your DVD. It's work of art. But thank you very much, Mark. On to the remaining stuff. Don't know how I follow that, really. 3DS. So after, I don't know, it's been a bit of an epic journey. Way over, trying to think, probably a couple of years, two and a bit years. But last year, particularly when, I guess the year prior, going into lockdown, I just jumped all over it, and any 3DS game I could get, I was kind of grabbing. And fortunately, up front, there was quite a lot of the RPGs, the more kind of expensive games within some of the auctions and some of the lots and the bundles that I got. But I still have needed to get a few. And I thought, following Dale's game, so the One Piece SP game, I thought I was pretty much there. But I was going through my collection, doing a bit of a further inventory just to double check. and I came across a bloody reprinted effing cover, courtesy of CX. That yeah, I must have bought it as with, you know, with a few other kind of games, and wrongly or rightly, I just tucked it away. Hadn't given it much further thought, and I thought that does not sit well with me at all. So I then had to embark on the journey to bloody find this game. Not massively expensive, but it's not a cheap one. It's not like a £5 bloody FIFA or like a £10, you know, farming simulator game. It's a bit more than that, but it is another melody game, another kind of rhythm game off the back of what's the series, the Hatsune Miku, which I always forget. It's quite a big, you know, Japanese line. But yeah, Project Mirai. But it does look, maybe I'm right. No, it's, yeah, it's kind of rhythm kind of game, your fan favourite songs and your multiple play styles and all of that. But yeah, sealed. Probably going to remain sealed for the midterm. But it's a Brucey bonus. There's a funky little, you know, like a launch edition lanyard. So again, maybe when I go back to London and I'm wearing the man bag, I've got my keyring, my retro keyring. Yeah, I could get my work pass on that and awesome stuff. So anyway, I got that, ticked that one off, and that just left the final game, which I did a video on. I think it's about a week or so, very silly video one about a week or so ago. And the game I'm not proud to have in my collection. The only reason I've got it in the collection is for that tossery full set thing, which is, yeah, kind of just made a bit of a head. Screwed in my head a little bit around, you know, do I do it or don't I do it? And in the end, I kind of bit the bullet, got it for a far cheaper price than I would have done on eBay via a nice guy out in Sweden. So I made a friend, he made a bit of money, I saved a bit of money, albeit I think I probably would much rather spend it on something else. But Barbie came home. Barbie came from Sweden with the glam pups, and yeah, I'm not going. I don't know. I don't really want to jump up and down with this one. I'm jumping up and down internally, having, you know, done the set, and now I can continue. Really need to start. You know, I probably played a small percentage of those bloody games. So this year is the year of the handheld, as I said before. For me, that's what I've got to do. I've got to get really stuck into that, and Gameboy as well. Yeah, get back more into handhelds. But Barbie is back. So that's, yeah, kind of 3DS. I'll do, trying to work out what I do, a bit maybe dedicated 3DS full set bid, or maybe break it down into some chunks, and maybe one around you know, kind of platformers and the kind of core Nintendo you know, branded games, third party games, you know, JRPGs. I'll give it some thought, and we'll certainly do something with that. But sticking with handhelds, I picked up the Game Gear. It was kind of the Christmas present from my wife. So, and I had Columns, Sonic 2, I think. So Columns is actually pretty, see, a bit kind of maybe Tetris kind of equivalent, or Sega trying to do equivalent, but it I don't know, it was pretty enjoyable and kept me busy over Crimbo. I was thinking, oh bloody hell, quite like a few other games, but through eBay, most of these are cheap as chips. Through Retro Hunter, got a few from there, a few other places, but they've been really, yeah, quite straightforward to pick up. A lot of them, where there is the equivalent of the Master System, it's just a direct Master System port. There's some which I've come across where they are a little bit different, but yeah, good. Because there's so many, I haven't had a chance to get stuck into them. So this one with a manual, I'm just going to go through, I'm not going to dwell on them. Super Monaco GP, Streets of Rage, Streets of Rage 2, but Streets of Rage, Spider-Man, Road Rash, an awesome game in most flavours. The aforementioned Columns. Finally got Shinobi, which is a different version. My post has been horrific, and I didn't get any posts, including the stuff from Mark. I felt really bad, but for about a couple of weeks, and eventually the postman bowled up and had so much stuff. But that was one of them. I really wanted Shinobi because I love Shinobi, and it's different from the Master System game. Sonic 2, so I kind of reshined because I did get that for Crimbo. It take me like twice as long to open them, so but take my word for it, that's Wonder Boy through a bit of a cloudy case. The Sega classic Outrun, Spider-Man in the Return of the Sinister Six, so I think this is the same as the Master System version. Pretty sure, correct me if I'm talking BS, I haven't put it in yet, but I think it is the same. Land of Illusion. Apologies for the glare. Final stack. Castle of Illusion. A game I'm more familiar with than Land of Illusion. Original Sonic. Sega like Olympic Gold. Not the grill, it's the boxing. George Foreman. KO. Which I'm sure I've got that. I've got that on the Game Boy as well. Get your hat and your whip. Indiana Jones. Last Crusade. Master of Darkness. I think this is the pricier one, but still, I don't think it was like crazy. It certainly wasn't like crazy money. None of these seem pretty reasonable. But yeah, looking forward to playing that on the old handheld. Haven't got it handy, but I have got the Master System adapter as well, converter, so I can play Master System games also on it, which is pretty cool. But it is unsurprisingly a battery for the screen as well. Yeah, it takes forever charging up batteries to get it going. I've got one box game that the delightful Ali Retro Hunter had, and it's meant to be a corker, and it ran me like 2, really good condition. But apart from a little nick in the corner, so it's Defenders of Oasis, a little kind of nick in the corner. So obviously it's getting the glare, it's in a protective case, but it's in very good. Never use the word mint and all that stuff. This certainly isn't mint. Mint to me is kind of new off the bloody factory line, but it's in good condition. Bearing in mind the age, it's in very good condition. So looking forward to that. Yeah, it's a bit of cheeky RPG. Don't know how much of that you can actually see. Bit Zelda-y like, bit kind of 8-bit Zelda era kind of equivalent. Friggin' awesome! Say awesome. Pretty terrifying dude on the front is trying to scare him off with his armpit hair, or lack of, maybe. Well, yeah, medieval waxing. But yeah, looking forward to that. And then yeah, kind of a bit of a medley again. So GameCube, just one GameCube game, but I think Bomberman Generation. Again, I'm into my Bomberman, but mainly on the kind of the snares on the Game Boy. I haven't played it on this one on the GameCube. I know they went off a little bit with their kind of little adventures and things, but hopefully there's not too much of that, and you've got the mayhem, the main kind of part of the game, which folk enjoys. If you like mini games, it looks pretty tasty. Yes, this is a kind of for me anyway, a pricier Saturn game. It's cheaper than what you'd normally pay because it's not in the best of conditions, albeit I might mail it to Tootie's special service and see if he can help this one. Yeah, Super Bomberman. As you can see, this just needs some gluing, to be honest. So that even I can, I'm sure I can't ruin it, but get that kind of spine down. I'll be a lot happier once that's in. I'm not. It's just kind of very embedded in. It's not even sticky. It's probably been there since like 20 odd bloody years. Maybe I'll give it a shot. But it is meant to be one of the finest Bomberman games. There is. I always hold the disc in these things because they're just shocking. The old holder, but the manual's in very good condition. And I think it's one with the whack. I haven't got one multi-tap and I haven't got enough bloody friends. But if I did have 10 friends and 2 multi-taps, then I could have a bloody big game of Bomberman. I put in a projector to kind of line everyone up, but yeah, so that was pretty cool. This one, I got this one off the back of seeing Bill, so Betty Hall Clinic, doing a playthrough. I'm going to get it completely wrong because it's Galactic Force or whatever the PAL straight US name of this game is, but in Japan it was Layer Section. I actually got it from Japan, and yeah, actually I've been following it, and they did I think it was like 25% off, and I was like, oh, I'll have a bit of that, but a bit of Spinal Tap, a bit of Spinal Loving. Yeah, really nice nick, but it's a very good shooter. Like Saturn shooters can command a lot of cash, but this was, I think it's about 30 quid equivalent. Maybe a bit, yeah, about 30 quid I think. Way under kind of, you know, input tax limits and all that stuff, and it's so bloody efficient. It was so well packed and didn't take that long to turn up. Turn up sooner than some of the UK eBay stuff that people just kind of sitting there. Next one, I pre-ordered this it feels like middle of last year. Maybe it was soon. It feels like a long time ago, and it was off the back of seeing Pete on a Retro Tips review of it. So yeah, Demons of Asterberg, kind of platform, a bit of Metroidvania style to it. Obviously a new Megadrive game, which is a wonderful thing. Yeah, it's like really nice, like nice cart, nice, well produced, nice kind of sticker on the cart. And you've got separate stickers. You've got a bit of a mini manual thing going on. Yeah, kind of stickers, brochure, colour manual. I won't do page by blooming page, but take my word for it, it's full colour. But yeah, good. It's a very good game. It's a hard game, as some of the bosses, and to me don't feel too. I'm trying to get that. I'm just gonna I'll put it away in a second. Don't feel too intuitive, and you kind of got to don't know, for me, I'm just an ignorant gamer maybe, but kind of replay a few bits if I kind of get my head around what I'm going to be doing. I'm not cheating and kind of YouTubing and seeing how other people have done it yet, but some bits are, yeah, a bit of a learning curve, but that's nothing wrong with that. I guess you get a bit more out of it, but it looks beautiful, the sprites are lovely, and it's a new Mega Drive game, so so that is fabulous. Final stint, and the final part is Game Boy, and off the back of getting the Analog Pocket, and I already had a good, I think between the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance and the Colour, probably a couple of 100 games, but I've just been, yeah, back on it, to be honest. And it was someone, it might have been, I think it was James maybe, Import and Retro Gaming, it reminded me that there was a discount, not a discount code, it was like all kind of buy two get the third free from Retro Bros on their eBay shop, and they've always got a lot of import stuff. So this is just piled up. So not all of this is import. Not all of it is from there, but R-Type 2, good old shmup, not so good Godzilla. Trying to get the one that currently is. There's one in the US which is going to be the best Turtles game for the Game Boy, but it's a shitload of money. So yeah, I think it's the second one, Fall of the Foot Clan, which is pretty, yeah, it's pretty good. Found a Chase HQ. So it's like Chase HQ Special Police. And I was trying to describe it probably badly in a comment to Retro Bear, but it's the first part is like a top-down map. So before you get to the driving and the chasing and the bashing of the enemies, you're in a top-down map, and there's a baddie in the car, and you've got to position your 3 police cars, and you've got to kind of box it in. It's a bit reminiscent of, I don't know, the early like Ghostbusters on the microcomputers, just the kind of the look of it, not necessarily how you the blocking in of the enemy, but you do that. Once you block them in, if you are successful, they either escape if you're not successful. If you are successful, it jumps into the main gameplay mode, and you've got a gun. It's a bit different from the original one. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Still got a lot of love for the first one, to be honest. This is the other. So this isn't the US one, but this is the. So I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the first Turtles game. Back from the Sewers is the second one, and then the third one, which don't know if it's US only. If it was out over here, then it's very, very rare. Game Boy Color, we just jump around flavours here, a bit like Donkey Kong, or like Diddy Kong, or Dinky Kong. It's a bit like Bonk's Revenge. Like Hudson Soft, like kind of Japanese. Clearly that's DuckTales. I don't know why I got this game. I had it back as a kid. It was purely nostalgia. I just find it really tough, and it doesn't. Yeah, Fist of the North Star. It's a bit of a, bit of a fight, obviously based on the manga. Comics or graphic novels and manga films as well. But yeah, it's the coolest thing about it. It's the sticker, but it was cheap. So Sneaky Snakes, kind of that puzzly, simple game. Parodius Dar, which I think is the second Parodius, but I think it was the first Parodius that came out on the Game Boy. I've done tried to get rid of. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Bit of a permanent looking like marker on there, but very good game, particularly on the Pocket. The visuals, and you can see the bloody enemy. All shooters now I'm 20% better at with the analog Pocket, just because I can see the enemy fire and stuff like that. It's really weird. It makes such a difference. Bionic Commando. So again, I think it was from Super Retro Brothers. Talking of the brothers, Blues Brothers. Really good. I like this one. Good platformer. The soundtrack doesn't quite create the soundtrack of the film, but I think it's a good little platformer. That. Crumbs! It's in like a blue case. What the heck is this one? Yeah, it's all about the ninjas, the martial arts. Jackie Chan, which is so. I think I've got Bruce Lee on the way, so put them in the same box and see how they fare. F1 Grand Prix, Kid Icarus, pretty good. Decent little game that. No idea what. Yeah, Konami. Letters on a Postcard. Very obvious game. No, not sure right here, right now. Zelda, Link's Awakening, which I couldn't believe I didn't have, so I grabbed that one. Mickey Mouse, a platformer. Trying to think a few. Like I say, I am really smacking around the orders. A Konami Crazy Racers, which is a bit of fun for the Game Boy Advance. A nice little game that. It's kind of going up a little bit in value. It's all relative. There's not that many games that are too expensive on the. Well, some, but not loads expensive on the GBA. My Namesake, Ed, and Eddie. It's probably a crappy game. Just Crash Bandicoot Fusion even. I think. Yeah, I was going to get it out, but I won't. So it's King of Fighters. It's the SNK. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Can't go wrong with Tony Hawk's. On any format, on the handhelds it's good, and I suspect it'll be quite nice on the Advance. And then the final game, the final blooming thing, and apologies, this video has probably gone on for far too long, but I do love this game. But up until getting this, hadn't played it on the Colour, Rainbow Islands. It plays very, very well. So much better than the abysmal. It's the DS version. I think it's out on 3DS, but the DS version of this, where you got to use the stylus to do the effing rainbows. Oh man, it doesn't work at all. It's such a shame because the graphics are good, but you can't. I don't think you can switch the mode, so you can't just play it normally. But there's enough moaning about that one. But yeah, it's cool. It's in really nice condition. TDK used to make the bloody cassettes back in the day. But yeah, really nice. I'm not like a cardboard fanny. But yeah, when I see something, if it's a real kind of nostalgic game and the price is okay, and it's going to get looked after, then yeah, I go for it. I think I've got about 15 boxed Game Boy games, a few more advanced ones. And that is it, my friends. So if you are still here and you're still awake, well done. Thank you for listening. Yeah, hopefully you you enjoyed some of the bits that I showed you. You probably didn't enjoy the DVD from Mark. It's a bit of a, yeah, at least the pre-diet phase or the pre-exercise phase, Josie Gibson wasn't all that. But putting that to one side, yeah, it's been a pleasure to chat. I will be back shortly with a few other vids, myself and Billy, so Basque Strength, Cast Strength Gamer. Get my words out. We're going on a mini road trip beginning of February, so we're going to go up to see Sega Zombies shop, so Retro Realm in Ipswich. So go and see Scott, and we may do a few little stop-offs along the way, and yeah, and film that. So looking forward to yeah, met him once previously at Neon Nights, a bit of arcade action, but looking forward to yeah, some game hunting, and finally able to get out and do some stuff. So yeah, can't wait. And I really will shut up now. Have a great rest of the day. Cheers for the support, both new supporters and existing supporters. It's yeah, really appreciated, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.